Good evening, Geeks, and Happy New Year? Or not quite New Year, since we still have about 5 hours to go. And I doubt I'm going to be awake that long, so. I don't know if you guys are hearing me or not. I'm trying these new headphones, but I honestly have no idea. There's no monitoring on them, so I can't hear if I'm actually coming through or not. And I've really actually set up this PC. This is my mother's PC that I'm using, by the way. Yes, I'm with my mother instead of my family on New Year's Eve, but let's face it, no, there's a reason why we're not together tonight. Anyway, so yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. So we're just kind of going into the year in review for this past year, which has been just awful. For those of you who know me, you already know all the trials, tribulations, and tragedies that this year has brought forth. For those of you that don't, well, go find somebody who knows me and just see if they'll tell you. So, I'm kind of glad, honestly, to be saying goodbye this year because it just has not been a good one by any stretch of the imagination. But I am looking forward to 2012 or 2020. 2012, God, that's 8 years ago now. Good God, I'm old. But 2020 is coming up, and I'm hoping that this year will be a much more stellar year than the previous year has been. I mean, 2019 hasn't been all bad. There's been a lot of things, for me to be grateful for. In particular, my brothers from another mother. This page would not have stayed afloat if it wasn't for the efforts of Todd and Sean McGinnity, the two men who I love, the men behind the CoreyGeek podcast. And if you haven't listened to the podcast, you really should. Two brothers McGinnity talking about this and that other thing. CoreyGeek podcast has been going now for, I think, almost 5 years. It's crazy. Sean's becoming the old man in podcasting. But yeah, if it hadn't been for Sean, I don't think the page would have been dead in the water, quite some time ago. So, gotta say thank you, Sean. I really appreciate what you've done for the page and what you've done for me, the Geeks, especially considering everything that we've had to go through this year. It's been, well, that. Love that. I love you. Really, some of the sounds coming through on this. Maybe all you guys are seeing is just video of me just flapping my lips. And I gotta apologize for the video camera. This computer is quite old, so I think it's got like a 3 megapixel webcam. Yeah, it does the job, I guess. So, aside from that, honestly, this year hasn't been all bad either in terms of my artwork. I have managed to actually make some progress with my art. Progress to myself. Stuff that I can look on and go, okay, I've made progress. I'm actually kind of proud of some of the stuff that I've been able to do this year. It's in part because I've been thinking more about how would I teach if I were to start trying to teach. Maybe doing drawing videos. Something I thought I would do last year. May have done 1 or 2, but then my laptop crapped out, and I wasn't able to do them anymore. So, but I have continued to think about what could be done with those, and I've done some research into how other artists that I admire, particularly Jim Davis of Garfield fame and Berkeley Breathed. I'm never sure how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Breathed. It's spelled breathed. If somebody knows, let me know. Because I can't for the life of me pronounce it properly. But I've done some research into how those two gentlemen have done their. Actually, honestly, it's Jim Davis who's. I think it was in the back of the 12th collection of Garfield comics. Described the materials that he used to do the Garfield comics, including, Winsor & Newton #2, Sable Hairbrush. I remember going down to Artist Emporium back in 2012, asking about those. And, they convinced my parents to buy something a little cheap because even at the time, brushes were still quite expensive. I do have one now, and I'm pleased with the quality of it. Unfortunately, Artist Emporium no longer carries a Winsor & Newton series, so I don't know where I'm going to get those if once these brush runs out. Already I'm trying to use it for whiteout. I know that there's artists among you who are cringing right now, thinking, dear God, what did he do? I don't blame you. It was dumb. But, yeah, so it was kind of the first place where I started getting, some behind the scenes view of how comics were actually made, like comic strips. Because, I mean, there's a lot of books out there. Hey, John Paul, can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? Or am I just flapping my lips at the camera? Honestly, don't know if the microphone's working or not. Maybe not. I don't know. Can you hear me? Am I out there, world? Oh, got a like. Thanks, John Paul. Okay, he can hear me. Good. Good. Awesome. That is awesome. You guys can actually hear me. Where was I? Right, I was talking about getting some behind the scenes on, how comic strips are made. And like I said, that first issue of Jim Davis, the first issue, number 12, the 12th compilation of Garfield comics, is where I got my first real view. Then I discovered, Berkeley Breathe in Bloom County. And it was, instant love. That's a young metalhead. They're doing the Billy and the Boingers storyline. I guess originally Death Tongue. So finding that strip, kind of locked in my love of being a cartoonist and wanting to be a comic strip artist or a stripper, as Berkeley brother called them, breathed, brother, whatever. So just recently, I decided to go on a few of the auction sites and take a look at some of the artwork. And the nice thing about going on auction sites, especially when you're looking at comic art, is they'll often include high-resolution, one-to-one scale scans of the artwork. So I was able to print off one of those and get some idea for, the size of the panels that Berkeley Brett was using. I'm still not quite able to figure out how his lettering guide was done because it doesn't correspond to anything on my Amaz lettering guide that I can figure out. If we have any letterers out there, maybe you want to clue me in. He uses a much larger series of lines to do his lettering. I think nowadays he uses a computer. Nothing's done on hand drawn anymore, which is really quite sad, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, so doing that a little bit of research, kind of gave me a little bit more insight into how comic strips were actually made, and give me a chance to start kind of learning how to do comic strips properly, as opposed to the way that I've been doing it, which is just flying by the seat of my ass. Which is, how I've been doing a lot of things over the years. So, maybe trying to actually do things properly. Grimjack for the win, damn straight. But we're talking about comic strips, not comic books. But yes, first comics and the old Grimjack series, John Ostrander, and especially Timothy Tim Truman? Yes, Tim Truman. The original artist of Grimjack. Anyway, so what's 2020 going to bring? Well, hopefully a few more of these videos. Got, the neat headsets. I'm hoping to actually, I'm working on getting the studio cleaned up again because, cats. And, well, we won't get into it, but the cats have decided that my area is perfect for them to do certain things. So their business, as it were, and I have not been able to train them out of it. So I'm going to have to figure out something to do to keep my area clean. So it's kind of kept me away from my area. Also, one of my cats has taken over my drawing chair, my desk chair. She's completely torn all of the faux leather covering off through scratching and has determined that my chair is now hers, and that is where she spends most of her time avoiding the kitten. But so I'm going to be working on getting that done. I finally picked up a few of the extra little bits of art supplies that I haven't had for a number of years. In part thanks to my lovely wife Jennifer. Jen, I love you. Thank you very much for helping your husband out. And actually thinking about going back to doing brush inking. I know it's a bit masochistic of me because I've been inking with micron pens and brush markers, and going back to trying to work with something like India ink and a brush is just insane. I really don't know what I'm doing to myself, but and yes, you're right, Jean-Paul. They do take everything over, and you're welcome, Greg. I will be doing more videos for 2020, not 2,200 or 2202. I will not be alive then. At least I hope God not. I don't think I'm immortal. Maybe I am. I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, I probably should have been dead a long time ago, based on my lifestyle and my unhealthy eating habits. But yeah, so this year we're looking at doing more videos. I'm hoping to do some teaching videos on how to do comic strips, or at least how I've kind of perceived how comic strips were produced and how I'm going to produce them. Working with a couple of, at least one of the comic strip pre-printed templates, the Canson series, which I've been using quite often. I do find that they're a little bit small for my uses, but they're really good for people who are just maybe getting into it and are used to having the pre-ruled comics sheets. So those are I'll be going to how to use those to get consistent borders and everything else. So yeah, I'm going to try to do some more on the scene stuff with the CoreyGeek podcast, and also do some on the scene stuff with Meet the Geeks, with the Meet the Geeks page. Hopefully sometime in the next couple of months I'll be able to get my laptop fixed. Depending on how much that costs, I have no idea, to be honest. That's a power jack. It might be cheap. It might be very, very expensive if they have to replace the entire board. But all in all, I'm looking forward to 2020. I'm hoping that this year will be a little bit more exemplary than 2019 was, because, as I said, 2019 was quite horrible for myself and my family. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, that's been my 2020 year in review. I hope to see a lot more of you guys in the near future. Meet the Geeks merchandise for 2020. I actually do have some ideas. I'm hoping to actually have a Meet the Geeks website set up sometime in early 2020, but that again depends on money and whether or not I can actually afford to buy a website and hold on to it. But yes, I do have some ideas for Meet the Geeks merchandise. At least, very least, a T-shirt. Beyond that, we'll see what else is going to be available. I may also wind up selling some of the Meet the Geeks original artwork as well, just to try to cover some cost. We'll see how things go. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us, guys. It has been kind of nice actually getting back in front of the camera, getting out there, talking to you. Jean-Paul, Greg, thanks for joining me. It's nice to know that at least somebody's on Facebook and not spending time with their families. And we'll see you in 2020. Bye.